Hello there traders, welcome to Elite Currency. My name is Chris and this video is taking a look at the euro dollar and pound dollar. Alrighty, so it's Thursday and we had 5 waves up at the beginning of this week. As you can see here, wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as expected, and now we're seeing some bearishness because of the fact that a bigger ABC correction has been finished, with this being here to A, ABC within B, and another 5 waves within C. So that bigger ABC is finished. And I think we're now looking at an ABC to the downside for the euro dollar. Now, the whole structure is quite sideways, quite choppy and corrective. It could be looking like a triangle, for instance, and price is getting closer to the bottom of that triangle yet again, as it basically bounced back and forth at support or resistance already for quite a while. There's also some horizontal levels right here, and perhaps here. But more importantly, that resistance spot. So it could also be looking like an ascending wedge in the meantime as well, with a flat top and higher lows. So I am expecting price to perhaps make another bullish bounce yet again, like it did so often in the past. If it does break below, I would say 150, this bottom specifically probably, then of course there is a chance that this is completing a bigger wave 4. And down we go for a wave 5. For the moment, I don't think that is that likely, because I think that there's still a better chance that price will bounce at support and head back to the triangle. I expect that the triangle pattern will still last and still make an attempt to retest this resistance and perhaps break above it this time around. Now, at this moment, we'll have to, I don't want to dive into very complex wave counts because not everyone is really interested in that. But the main scenario basically is this a correction for wave 4 and down we go for wave 5, right? That's one scenario, and that is definitely possible. But for that to become more likely, I would need to see price break below these diamond fractals, which are indicating these diamond red fractals are indicating downtrend. I would like to see a close at the very minimum below, on a daily chart, a daily close below 116.15. before I think more downside is likely. If we get a good bearish daily candle that is like something like this, that breaks through the trend line perhaps and breaks through those fractals, then I would expect a little bit of retracement perhaps the day after or the week later, and then a continuation lower like this. So I think that the daily chart, the daily candle, will be very useful to measure whether we are getting a break to the downside or not, because price is sticking around these 21 EMAs, making this consolidation pattern. All right. If you're interested in how I see all of these waves in this particular zone, best is to check out my wave analysis on our website, elitecurrency.com. If price, however, bounces here, then I think there's a good chance of price going back up, and then there will be a new challenge of this resistance, and price can either again bounce or break. If it does break, then we're seeing finally the bigger correction that I had in mind, up to 118.50. All right, now will that happen? That remains to be seen. But that could be the case if we get a breakout like this, and we could see price move up to challenge this top right here. All right, so small breakout right there. For the moment, I think a bullish bounce is more likely, but if we get a bearish candle here, then of course more downside is certainly on the table. And at this moment, I think that price is likely in a bouncing spot. So I personally, it might move down a little bit still, right? Maybe down to the S1 perhaps. But I think there's a good momentum candle here. So it's still the bounce, the reversal is still far off from now. But if price slows down, builds a little bit of a falling wedge like this, then moves up, then slowly moves down again like this. A pattern like that with a falling wedge, with a break, and then a flag indicates that probably more upside is likely. So this is an important pattern, important reversal pattern that I need to see. Otherwise, it is risky to trade to the upside, because clearly the momentum is to the downside now. I don't want to trade it to the downside because it's running right into running right into support. So I don't mind trading it to the downside, but it first needs to break clearly on a daily chart, in my view. All right, moving on to the pound dollar. Breaking to the downside, and that is not surprising if you followed our videos and wave analysis. you already know that this looks like 5 waves up to me, and that this looks like an ABC correction. So from that point of view, we're already talking about the head and shoulders potential here, that this is a wave A, that we'll get a choppy wave B, and then we should see one more lower low for wave C. So all of that has happened. Now the question is this a wave C or a wave 3? And if it is a wave 3, it will start moving a lot faster to the downside and eventually break this bottom. If it's slow and choppy, then eventually price could bounce here. Again, a reversal pattern is important. Candlestick patterns are important. Chart patterns are important because we need to bounce, a hook back, and then we'll see a move up like that. This breakout would be very important for upside trade because that could indicate the wave 3 of a larger wave C. This being A, this being B, and this being C. So whether this is indeed the wave B will depend on how price responds to when it's moving lower. Will it bounce at the 61.8 fib? Bounce like this and test this trend line again? Like that. So down, test the trend line, bounce, break, right? Then in that case, this is a wave B. If we get the break, this is probably a wave B. If price breaks through the 61.8 fib, then with a lot of momentum, it could be both, right? It could be both the wave 3 or C. We'll have to see how price responds to these levels, first of all. So that's about it from the pound perspective. At the moment, I still think that the ABC is more likely. 5 waves up here, so I would expect somewhere a bounce here, a hook back, and break above that trend line. The break is the real interesting part. Here is less interesting, more dangerous. Look for reversal chart patterns, confirmations for that, and candlestick patterns. But if we see strong daily candle, all right, if we see a strong daily candle like this, and it's below the 61.8, and there's a big candle today from all the way here from 131.20-ish down to 130.20, well, in that case, I think we're looking at actually at a breakout probably. Then in that case, it's probably, you know, it's maybe 50-50 or even less. It doesn't look like an ABC anymore, all right? So just be aware of that that could certainly change perspectives, a big daily candle like that, because in that case, well, we also broke through this head and shoulders level in that case, which is an important reversal pattern. Of course, inverted head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, and a right shoulder, which could play out just like this head and shoulders played out as well. All right, that's it for now. We got a new month of August, of course, coming up. Check it all out at elitecurrency.com, where we have multiple updates per day, and wish you all good trading. Cheers.